You'll notice that the enemy doesn't capture the point right away. You have to destroy the fortifications on the point before it's eligible to be captured. So that's a way to sort of lock down your objectives, so that you don't have to babysit them constantly. Hey everyone, Joe here. I hope you all had a safe and fun new year. Right now I'm working on some cool terrain stuff, but I'm not quite ready to show it. Instead, I figured I'd show another clip from the Infiniwar Archives. This one's pretty cool, and it covers basic capture point and fortification mechanics, as well as some more advanced mechanics like elite and ace fortifications and their triggered abilities, as well as fortification delivery powers. I hope you enjoy it. One of the things that an old World in Conflict mechanic that I wanted to implement was fortifications. So in the past, you could just, if you roll your tanks up onto this point, it'll capture it. But if you leave and the enemy rolls over it, well, they just get it right back. And especially if there's kind of a dynamic moving combat going on, it can be really annoying to have the things kind of switching back and forth. There's some other differences with World in Conflict that I may change at some point in the future too. Like right now, a capture point is sort of a single thing. In World in Conflict, there's like a little group of them, so like 2 or 3, and you have to have all of them at the same time, and then the whole point gets captured. I might switch to that at some point, but this was simpler to implement for now. So if I roll my units onto the... Let me just roll one of them on there. If I roll my units onto the point,
Your troops now control an
you'll see there's
objective.
now a progress bar. I sort of built this new concept of like world progress bars, so I could have this be for like building things, capturing things, planting bombs, diffusing bombs, whatever kinds of like objective stuff. But what this little guy is doing is he is fortifying the point. So you'll see a little fortification pop up. Now this is a totally temporary model. It is like literally just a cube. It's got a foundation like a building, but it's otherwise literally a cube or a squashed cube. You see that as he sits on there, he's building more of them. And if I roll more units on, it'll build faster. Or it should build a little faster. I think it's building a little faster. And once you've got 3, you don't get any more. So there's sort of a limit to how much turtling you can do on a point. A little bug here, the fortification is included in my selection, so it's going to get in the formation, but it's not actually going to move. So the fortifications, once there's a fortification there, so if I like delete these units and spawn, let's say, some enemies, you'll notice that the enemy doesn't capture the point right away. You have to destroy the fortifications on the point before it's eligible to be captured. So that's a way to sort of lock down your objectives, so that you don't have to babysit them constantly. So at some point, these tanks are going to defeat these fortifications, and then, well, here we'll just speed that along.
Enemy units captured an objective.
Once the fortifications are gone, the enemy can capture the point. Now the AI isn't super smart at this point. It will occasionally send units to points to fortify them, but it doesn't do so super reliably. So the AI gets a big bonus to fortification construction. So anytime it's got units on there, it's gonna really gonna build them quite a bit quicker. That's something that I'll just deal with later when AI gets better. I'll need to come up with some kind of like a utility-based AI where they can sort of decide whether fortifying is more important, or capturing a new objective is more important, or running from a threatening enemy. That's some more complicated stuff that I'm going to worry about later. Now, there's also different kinds of forts, so hopefully I'll get a few different kinds that'll come up. Right now, this is this icon's a little bit hard to see, but it's the anti-ship fortification, or at least that's the icon I'm using right now. Basically, anything that's kind of sort of like a long-range cruise missile type thing. I might actually make that only anti-ship at some point in the future, but we'll see. So this is the anti-air fortification. So if I move my dudes away and then spawn like an enemy aircraft here, you can see that the anti-air fortification is sort of shooting back and shooting missiles at it, which is pretty cool. Is debugging include? Okay. So now I should be able to manually spawn fortifications. This is just for debugging. You wouldn't do this as a player. So I've got different kinds of forts right now. You've got your anti-air forts, and then if we have the enemy aircraft come in, they're going to get kind of wrecked by all the missiles. So if we've got the anti-ground fort, same kind of thing. This is, oops, these are enemies. That's fine. Bring in some of my tanks to fight this. And are they not close enough? What's going on there? Okay. Yeah, they're not close enough. I guess I made those pretty short range. So yeah, so you've got some anti-tank fortifications that won't shoot at air and things like that. You already saw the so-called anti-ship, although they can... We'll actually make them anti-ship. How about that? Anti-ship. So we got some anti-ship fortifications here. And let's actually put some patrol boats. I think they're pretty long-ranged. Yeah, see, they're pretty long-ranged. And it's just using some of the same weapons I've already designed, but obviously they're in forts now. Now, forts are really just immobile units. At least that's the way I have them implemented right now. There are some weirdnesses with that, where sometimes they can get like shoved out of the way in weird ways, or get moved when they shouldn't be, even though I think I have that locked down. So I'm gonna mess with that more. Anyway, but because they're just units like any other unit, they have all the same stats that units have. You can I'll probably prevent you from selecting them, or whatever, I'm not sure. But they have all the same stats that units have, and that means that you can, in principle, get hero versions. There we go. So now we've got elite fortifications, and you can even do ace fortifications. So because these are just units, you can have... So this is going to open up a lot of possibilities here. So you've got like elite anti-air fortifications with extra range. Okay, cool. So yeah, so almost double the range. Like, this is a way more threatening elite anti-air fortification than the basic one is. And I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to integrate this yet with the game mechanics. Like, if the AIs will sometimes spawn elite or ace fortifications as like an extra challenge. If it'll be a map mod where they can sometimes appear. You can see this guy's really got the range. This one wasn't even in range, but he was. You've got forts that when they're destroyed, they call in artillery barrages on themselves. It's not what I thought it would be. There we go. Okay, so now he's going to call in an airstrike on himself. I think that was the wrong team color. Oh well. But now you've got this anti-air fortification that not only, let's see, it gets the, called on self when it scores kills, called on self when killed. So all the crazy mods and anything else I come up with in the future that can affect any units, AI units or whatnot, can affect fortifications as well, which is pretty cool. And that includes, I haven't decided how I'm going to work with it yet, but obviously the player is going to be picking up, I don't have any right now, but going to be picking up improved units throughout the course of their play, and it would be cool, I think, to be able to spec yourself into having your own fortifications be stronger. So that may be something that I do as well. Now, another thing is, because fortifications are just units, we can drop in fortifications via fortification delivery powers, which is pretty neat. So obviously the visuals on that are going to need a little bit of work too, but you get the idea. So having the power to call in fortifications where you need them could be something that you could spec into. Now, I don't want to turn the game into a base builder, like a traditional StarCraft, Command and Conquer, any of that kind of stuff. So you're not going to be moving your SCVs around or doing any of that kind of stuff. But I do still like the idea of fortifications, static defenses, and stuff like that playing some role. But they will be more specialized. Like, you won't getting the ability to call in fortifications wherever you want will be a cool thing that you can do that has trade-offs versus other powers you could use. And of course, I don't know how difficult it's going to be to set this up. Maybe I just won't. Because units calling in powers, I could probably set this up, but I'm not going to. Aces calling in powers is just a thing that can happen now. So aces calling in powers that drop fortifications is totally a thing. So there's going to be some ace archetype at some point that's going to be like effectively the fortifier who's going to run around the map, maybe in the back line, just sort of seeding the area with fortifications. So it'll be in the player's best interest to take those out, so that there isn't a huge nest of fortifications somewhere like denying you that area of the map. So it's just a nice way to sort of link together all the different systems. We have 2 new members at the NCO tier, so thank you to ALX 2079 for joining. We also have Lisa Parrott, who, fun fact, threw a baseball at the back of my head many years ago. We also have Ryan Grill at the Commissioned Officer tier, earning the 1-month service medal. And finally, we have our rising star, Goman Snana, rocketing through the ranks and being promoted to General. Did you know that he can bench 405 pounds? What an absolute beast. Seriously though, thank you so much for supporting the channel at this level. I really don't know why you're doing it, but thank you. A big thank you to all my channel members: General Goman Snana, Commissioned Officers Triggs Black Tiger, Ryan Grill, Esposito Adam, and NCOs ALX 2079 and Lisa Parrott. Don't forget to wishlist Infiniwar on Steam, and thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video.